Hey everybody, this is Amie with Ask a Christian, and this is a channel devoted to authentic discussion about Jesus, about the Bible and Christianity, and sometimes even what's going on in the church. I am back from maternity leave, and as I've mentioned before, I'm on baby duty a good portion of the time. So these videos are going to be casual, but they are real answers to real questions that subscribers have sent in, which you can also join in if you write to me at askachristianfriend@gmail.com. Now, if you hear some cooing or blabbering, it's my baby. She's on my lap right now. And I will introduce you to her at some time when she's not sleeping or drifting off, which is what she is so very cutely doing now. Anyway, today our question comes from Georgia, and let me read what she says. I came across a book by John M. Allegro called The Sacred Mushroom and the Cross, which discusses the use of mushrooms within early Christianity and their connections to us and the earth. I wanted to know your opinion on this, if you wouldn't mind, as I've seen lots of frescoes within churches that are theories to depict the Amanita mushroom. For what I've seen, this is a very controversial topic, but I wanted to get more of an understanding of it, as it seems John Allegro was an atheist. Any help on understanding this theory would be great, as I have no one I can really approach about it. Kind regards. Wow, that's really interesting. Thank you so much for writing in, Georgia. I'm not familiar with this book at all, and I'm only moderately familiar with some of the premises. I looked up a summary, and it reminds me of something I've heard Joe Rogan podcast about a little bit, which is that that Christ was really a code word for magic mushrooms, and that early Christians were, downloading all these visions and ideas while they were under the influence of the shroom. So, um, here's what I do know. Just looking this guy up, he was a Dead Sea Scrolls scholar, it seems. So he really does have a connection. And it also seems like he's not very well accepted with some of these ideas. So there's probably good reason for that. It looks like, although he has a mastery of the subject and the language, that maybe he's making some leaps here. And then here's also what I know. There were absolutely people experimenting with mushrooms and all of their kinds of substances for as long as those substances have existed. And some of them may have called themselves Christians or Christian-esque. So I don't think it's a far stretch to say that there are groups using this, and that there are probably groups using this as a way to try to contact the divine, or the creator God. And by the way, I still, I know people who do this and use this today. And side note, I actually think that God can use anything to meet with people. I don't think that it's his goal, because we can become reliant on substances. And just when we think that, we've got something going on, we can become addicted, not necessarily physically addicted, but emotionally or spiritually addicted to that kind of thing. And it really, Georgia, seems to go against principles of the Bible. What you have to remember here, I think, the biggest help, it's not super scholarly, but early Christians were basically Hebrews. They were Jewish Hebrews, and they were finding that they believed that Christ was the prophesied Messiah. So everything about them initially was Jewish, and that includes their view on substances. And, if you read in the Proverbs, you'll read about how, wine is a mocker, I believe it says in Proverbs 20. And so all throughout Christianity and Jewish history, there has been a wariness surrounding alcohol, to use it medicinally, maybe even to use it during ceremonies where there was great joy, but never to use it in a way that would alter your mental state. That was always frowned upon, and was known to lead to destruction and sickness. And so to think that early Christians would just depart radically from that and go into hallucinogens and make that a big part of their worship, that's pretty wild. And I know that Paul in Ephesians chapter 7, I think, talks about not giving ourselves over to that. So it's Old and New Testament that we're not to alter our mental state with substances. And so while I think John Allegro has some really interesting things to say, I need to read up on him to give you a stronger answer. I think that he probably enjoyed selling books to people who love mushrooms. That's my take on it, Georgia. We can chat more about it later if you want. Again, if you have a question that you want me to tackle, send it to askachristianfriend@gmail.com and I will get back to you via email or maybe even make a video about your subject, since right now it's easier for me hands-free than typing. All right. Appreciate you. Catch you later. Bye.